Hey everybody, it's Friday, so we're going to be doing another devotional for you today. This is it. I hope you enjoy this recording. I wish I could post the manuscript for this on Instagram as well. It will be on the Facebook post, as you can see. But in case you wanted to see this written out, it is on our private youth Facebook group. Other than all of that, I hope you all are still staying safe. This is a difficult time, as I can only imagine what you're all going through. Please know that we're here, we're praying for you, we love you, and we're doing everything we can for you in these difficult times. And if you need us to pray for anything about you, please let us know. We're here for you. And then other than that, please remember to submit your pictures for the Instagram challenge, the picture challenge that's on Instagram and Facebook for us. I would love to see all of you being goofy. We're going to have another one that's going to be slightly different. It's not going to be exactly a picture challenge that we're going to post this upcoming Tuesday. So look forward to that. It'll be awesome. And I look forward to seeing all of you doing your goofy stuff. So we're going to go ahead and dive into our devotional now. I hope you enjoy. I hope you've been enjoying these as well. And just let us know if there's anything we can do for you. All right, cool. Here we go. Today's devotional is entitled The Active Call of God. And we have two scriptures, both from the New Testament. The first from John chapter 14, verse 12. Very truly I tell you, whoever believes in me will do works I have been doing, and they will do even greater things than these, because I am going to the Father. And then our second scripture is Colossians chapter 3, verse 23, and it goes like this. Whatever you do, work it with all your hearts, as working for the Lord, not human masters. So here we go, and I hope you enjoy. When I look back at my life, while I was getting my bachelor's degree at Florida Southern College, go Mocs, my close group of friends loved to play Dungeons and Dragons as almost whenever they could. And I know that's kind of seen as a bit of a nerdy game, but they loved it, and they were such amazing people. They still are. I still love all of them. And although I was never really involved in their game sessions or their D&D games due to my class load, working off campus, or not being able to just play for hours upon hours, and just kind of a general uninterest in the game at the time, I never really understood the game's appeal until one of them explained it to me. And it was similar to my love for sports, for playing team sports, being on the field or the court like basketball or baseball. And in this game, in Dungeons & Dragons, they weren't just passive players where the outcome of the game was set in stone like video games or something else. They weren't just observers or another video game character just dropped into a specific role. They were active in the game with every decision they made and every action they took, right down to even designing their characters. They were active in everything, and they loved it. They were able to be the heroes and shape their own story as it went along. And just a few months ago, I kind of realized the theological significance behind that. The campaigns they would run and the games they would play mirrored the story that God writes within each of us, writes through you. Although we may not be able to completely create our own character at the beginning, or battle giant monsters, or go to exotic fictional places, we do face decisions every moment of every day that move our story in one way or another. We get to be active in the story that God is writing in our lives, in your life. We get to experience each step as we grow in God and as we grow closer to each other. My friends love D&D because they get to be active, and God invites them to do the same with His story. And right now, with the times we're in, it might seem hard to see where God is working in our lives, working in your life, where God is allowing us to be active participants. Yet, no matter what decisions we make, no matter what path we follow, God is always with us. Despite having stay-at-home orders as we fight to stop COVID-19, we are still active participants in the story that God continues to write. We still have a way to battle this beast and to fight against the darkness. We just need to start being participants instead of just observers. And not many people, when it comes to sports, this is where I related with that explanation that my friends gave me. Not many people want to ride the bench when it comes to sports, when it comes to music, acting, or anything that we love to do. The majority of people want to be there, to be active in that team, that band, or whatever it is, that show. They want to be active in that success of whatever's going on. So why is it different when it comes to God's story? Like anything else, none of us know all the outcomes until they happen or until the end. We never know exactly what's going to happen next. We can't predict the future. And no doubt about it, when we get to the end, we're going to find out that God gave us grace and made right some of the wrong decisions and wrong choices we made along the way. And that's what God does. He gives us grace. And most likely some of the choices we thought were right will turn out to be wrong. It happens. But we cannot let life or let that fear of that wrong decision slow us down. We cannot let the darkness slow us down. We always have the option of being active in the story that God is writing for us and through us. And it might be hard to see how we can do all that with stay-at-home orders. I mean, after all, some of us are probably going stir-crazy at homes as we weather this storm. Yet every decision we make is another line in God's story. The greatest story of all time is still being written. As Christ lives in us, offering His resurrection power and His new life, we become active in the way that story unfolds. Because God is at work within us. He's at work within you. And through that, God is calling you and calling us to be at work in the world. Jesus didn't want us to just be believers in Him or of Him. He wanted us to be participants in God's redeeming work. Well, He is at work redeeming everything. God doesn't want us on the bench. He wants us in the game. No doubt about that at all. In God's story, we get to be active participants, not observers. And despite stay-at-home orders and businesses being closed, we still have a choice to make. Still have an active role in God's story. As God gives His new life to us, we can give that life to others, and we can help others to see God as God gives them new life. Right now, despite what we are feeling, what we may feel even, we are far from sidelined as a church. We are all in the game as God works through each of us to make us participants in His grand story. There is hope and there is life. Each moment of each day we have a choice to be a participant in the hope and life that God gives to each of us. Because God calls us, God calls you to participate in His story, in His redeeming love. We are far from sidelined in all of this. And right now, every decision we make is furthering God's story. Are we going to be a church who is loving and reaching out to others through the technology we have? Are we going to open up churches in our own homes as the enemy thinks he's closed all the churches? What action are we going to take to continue to write God's story in this world that is full of brokenness and hurt? Because God's calling you to participate in his story and his redeeming love, and to be in the game, not on the bench. So as we finish, my 2 questions for you today are these. How is God calling you to be a participant in his story today? And secondly, where is God giving you new life? If you can, take a moment to reflect on those. And thank you all for watching this. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're all well. And just know, we have the God who conquered everything on our side, who is giving us new life each and every day. Be safe, everyone, and know that I'm praying for you. Thank you.